Hello, if you know what this is, then I know you have studied marine science. That aside, I actually have a Bachelor of Marine Science that took 3 years to complete. Now, I have never actually used this degree in any of my jobs post-university, but today has come the time to finally put that degree to use, and that is by reviewing the Nintendo Switch game Endless Ocean Luminous. For this review, I'm going to start with the visuals. The environment just looks a little bland. There is a lot of empty space, not too dissimilar to areas you find in the ocean, but personally I would have preferred a slightly richer environment. As for the look itself, the haziness in the visuals is exactly like when you are on a real dive. So whilst many may want crystal clear and crisp visuals, that is not what you get here. You get a more realistic portrayal of being underwater in Endless Ocean Luminous. The creatures themselves look great, but they do disappear if you get too close. And they also don't act like their real counterparts would. Fish won't just stay still if a human swims up to them. They more often than not will swim away from you, darting in different directions and things like that. In Endless Ocean Luminous, you can do a lot of customization, especially of your wetsuit and diving gear, with many colours and stickers that you can add. I think this is a nice touch visually and allows you to find the perfect look for your character. The menus are simple and clean with easy to read white text. I played both docked and in handheld and had zero issues, so while the visuals are not going to impress many, I think they did a good job capturing a more realistic version of the underwater world. Moving on to one aspect of the gameplay, and that is the story mode. The story mode is the worst part of the game, in my opinion. It feels like a stretched out tutorial. The story introduces you as a new researcher who is tasked with investigating what is happening to the world coral as it is starting to decay. You are guided by an AI voice, and the chapters themselves are really short. Some don't even have any diving in them at all, just a cutscene. There are also chapters locked behind random objectives that seem pointless, such as scanning X number of creatures. If you are getting this game purely for the story mode, I would recommend rethinking that decision. The gameplay in Endless Ocean Luminous is very simple. You swim around a procedurally generated area and scan the marine life you come across. The endless in the title is a little misleading here, as the area is contained, although rather large, it isn't close to being endless in size. Once you scan something, it will zoom in to show it off and provide you some information on the species scanned. If you scanned multiple creatures at once, you can switch between them easily and see all the information about each one. Within the game, there are approximately 500 different species to find and scan, so it will take you a while to discover them all. The main experience is to just relax and explore the area while scanning things as you go. It encapsulates the magic of exploration, whilst providing an educational experience at the same time, with the bite-sized information given on the wildlife. Almost like swimming in an aquarium, with no combat and no need to worry about the shark you spot in the distance, except without the actual aquarium part that previous entries had, meaning there is no real way to interact with the marine life scanned that is fun outside of the dives. Now, circling back to the educational content, I can finally use my 3-year degree to let you know if it is good or not. So as somebody who knows a thing or two about marine wildlife, I think the information provided is fine. It is a shallow summary of the animal, but it does provide some interesting facts and shows both the scientific name and common name, which is great. Honestly, I think it would be a great tool for memorizing species names, as you could guess what the species is before scanning, then scan to check if you are correct. That is how I would use it for learning, because it would be very difficult to memorize all the species in the game otherwise. The only downfall is with the procedurally generated maps, you might have new species that you find every dive, which would make it almost impossible to use that method of learning. You can save certain maps, so this can be overcome, but I am sure not many of you are playing to learn every species name, so by now you are already fast forwarding to the next part, so let me move on. While exploring, you can also find treasures. These don't do much except add to your dive score, which gives you points to spend on customizing your gear or buying new emotes. The gameplay is split into 3 sections. Story, which I covered earlier, solo play where you have the whole area to explore alone, or online where you join an area with up to 30 other players. When trying online, at most 4 others were in my dives. This was cool to see other players, but I never had that experience with a huge number of people diving all together. In the online mode, you or others can leave markers on important things you find, like treasure or rare animals. To the game's credit, the multiplayer was stable when I tried it, though for me, the most players swimming around at one time was 5, me included. All divers drop into different parts of the map and must track each other down to start exploring together. I did find new players usually always dropped in close by to somebody already in the map, making it even easier to connect. During online, you can also fast travel to the locations of other divers you've encountered face to face if you ever get split up, making getting around feel way less tedious. It is a nice mechanic and it can be fun to swim alongside others. I didn't have any trolls or any of that stuff in the sessions I joined, and mostly everybody was just swimming around with the occasional emote being used. Endless Ocean Luminous is a calm and relaxing way to spend some time. For me, when I played, time went by quickly as I was immersed in just swimming around. Even in the empty spaces, it felt almost meditative to just keep swimming. Maybe that's why Dory says, just keep swimming, just keep swimming, 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 swimming. Another downfall of Endless Ocean Luminous is the choice of voicing for the game. The AI voice feels cheap. I would have much preferred a human sounding voice, so instead of a robot guiding you, you could almost imagine the research lead being the voice you communicate with. The soundtrack too is underwhelming. Overall, the music choices in this game aren't the best. I ended up listening to podcasts when I did dives instead of listening to the actual game soundtrack.
Huh? My sensors are showing an increase in activity. The cave is starting to shake. Analyzing.
If you enjoyed the previous Endless Ocean titles, then you're sure to have a good time in this new entry. But if you prefer higher action or higher energy games, then this one might be one to skip. It is just a relaxing game, and if you don't like calm, relaxing games, you won't find this very fun. As somebody who's done scuba diving many times in the past, it definitely brought back memories from that time and the feeling of wonder that you get when you discover new marine life under the ocean's surface. Endless Ocean Luminous is a relaxing way to discover the marine life that live underwater, and you might even learn a thing or two. Coming from somebody who has studied the ocean, I found the game really enjoyable, but it was a little bland in certain places. It's like swimming through a digital aquarium. I hope you found this review helpful, and if you did, make sure you give the video a like. If you didn't, give it a dislike. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye!